Los Angeles hides many haunted film locations like the Stimson House, Waddles Mansion, Canfield Moreno Estate, and the Greystone Mansion. These eerie places have appeared in famous horror movies, where actors reported strange noises, cold air, and ghostly shadows. Their chilling atmosphere gives every film a truly terrifying realism. Now we will visit the most haunted film locations in Los Angeles. Number 1. Stimson House. In the quiet heart of Los Angeles stands the Stimson House, a dark, brooding mansion built in 1891 from heavy red stone that seems to trap the past inside. Locals call it the Red Castle, but those who have stepped through its creaking doors whisper another name: the house that never sleeps. Once home to high society elegance, it now carries an aura of sorrow, secrets, and something that watches from the corners. Its Romanesque towers and stained glass windows have appeared in many famous films. But what happens behind the camera has often been far more horrifying than what appears on screen. During the filming of House of Usher 1960, the mansion's sinister beauty made it the perfect gothic backdrop. But from the very first night shoot, the crew sensed unease. Lead actor Vincent Price reportedly heard knocking sounds behind the walls whenever he rehearsed his lines about death. Electric lights flickered without power loss, and one cameraman swore he saw a woman in black glide down the staircase and vanish. The production team laughed it off until the next morning, when they found muddy footprints leading from the parlor to the chapel. No one had entered that room since it was locked the night before. Years later, The Legend of Hell House, 1973, brought another haunting to Stimson's walls. The mansion was chosen for its decaying, oppressive atmosphere, but the fear became real when strange things began happening off-script. Actress Pamela Franklin felt a hand grip her shoulder during a quiet take, though no one stood behind her. Crew members heard doors slam even though the air was still, and one grip was injured when a heavy chandelier fell seconds after someone shouted, "Cut." It was as if the house itself didn't like being imitated. Many of the cast refused to film alone afterward, convinced that something unseen moved through the halls, mocking them from the shadows. The eeriest events came during the making of Dark House 2009, a modern supernatural thriller shot almost entirely inside the mansion. This time, even the director, Darren Scott, confessed he felt followed. Actors described icy chills crawling across their skin and whispered voices echoing through the old chapel. During one night scene, the lead actor screamed in terror, not because of the script, but because a figure appeared behind the cameraman, dressed in old-fashioned clothes, staring directly at her. The apparition was caught on film for a brief second before vanishing. The footage was quietly removed from the final cut, but those who saw it said the figure's eyes seemed to glow faintly red. To this day, the Stimson House remains one of Los Angeles' most haunted film locations. Visitors describe flickering lights, cold drafts, and soft murmurs calling their names from the dark. Every film shot within its walls seems to awaken something older, a restless energy that feeds on fear, performance, and life itself. When night falls and the streets outside go silent, the Stimson House exhales, waiting for the next camera, the next scream, and the next soul brave enough to enter. Number 2. Waddles Mansion. Hidden beneath the lush hills of Hollywood lies the Waddles Mansion, a grand 1908 estate that looks peaceful in daylight, but turns sinister once the sun goes down. The house, with its Spanish colonial beauty and long, echoing halls, has become one of Los Angeles' most haunted film locations. Behind its graceful facade lies a darkness that never left, whispers of lost souls, flickering shadows, and invisible footsteps that follow those who dare to film inside. Every movie shot here seems to awaken something that has been sleeping for decades. The mansion first revealed its eerie side during the filming of The Omen 1976, one of Hollywood's most chilling classics. Several indoor scenes were filmed in Waddles Mansion, and cast members immediately felt an unsettling presence. Actress Lee Remick once screamed during a take, insisting someone had touched her shoulder, but the camera showed no one behind her. Crew lights exploded for no reason, and the temperature dropped sharply inside certain rooms, even though it was midsummer. The director, Richard Donner, later admitted that during filming, he heard soft, childlike laughter coming from an empty corridor, the same corridor that was once part of the mansion's nursery. Locals say the laughter has never truly stopped. Years later, the estate was used again for Ghostbusters 1984, known for its supernatural comedy. But what happened on set was no joke. Several crew members reported strange, cold winds sweeping through the rooms even when the windows were sealed. Actor Dan Aykroyd, fascinated by the paranormal, claimed to see a misty human figure glide across the staircase during a late-night setup. Cameras recorded strange electrical interference, and a glowing orb appeared briefly in one frame, circling an actor before vanishing. Many believe the mansion's spirits were drawn to the film's ghostly theme, blurring the line between Hollywood fiction and real haunting. By the time The Ring 2 2005 was filmed at Waddles' mansion, the stories had become legend. The cast and crew laughed at first, until fear set in. Actress Naomi Watts reportedly heard faint crying in one of the bedrooms used for a scene. A crew member fell suddenly ill after filming in the attic, claiming he saw a pale figure crouched in the corner with black eyes staring straight at him. During a night shoot, the cameras caught a reflection in a mirror, a woman in white standing beside Naomi, though no one else was there. When they checked the footage later, the image was gone. To this day, Waddles' mansion remains a place where beauty and fear exist side by side. Guests often report sudden chills, whispers calling their names, and lights turning on by themselves. The estate's grandeur hides its truth, that something ancient, unseen, and jealous still wanders its halls, feeding on the living energy of every visitor who steps through its doors. It's no longer just a filming location. It's a living ghost story, one that Hollywood can't stop revisiting. Number 3. Canfield Moreno Estate. Perched high above Silver Lake in Los Angeles stands the Canfield Moreno Estate, better known today as the Paranormal Mansion, a breathtaking Spanish Revival palace that hides a heart full of sorrow. Built in the 1920s by silent film star Antonio Moreno for his wife, oil heiress Daisy Canfield, it was meant to be a home of love. But after Daisy's mysterious death in a car crash, the house changed. The warmth left, replaced by a cold, invisible presence that never seemed to leave. Over the years, it became a favorite film location, grand, cinematic, and terribly haunted. When Scream 3 2000 was filmed inside the mansion, strange occurrences began almost immediately. Crew members reported seeing doors swing open by themselves and lights flickering in rooms no one entered. Actress Neve Campbell claimed that during one late-night scene, she heard a woman crying upstairs, long, soft sobs that made her stop mid-line. Security checked, but the floor above was empty. Later, while reviewing the day's footage, the team noticed a shadow standing behind Neve in a mirror, the faint outline of a woman in an old gown, her face hidden by darkness. After that night, the production wrapped earlier than planned, and several crew members refused to stay past sunset. Years later, the mansion returned to fame during Halloween Resurrection 2002, another horror classic. The production team used the estate for its eerie hallways and grand staircases, but filming quickly turned nightmarish. Actor Busta Rhymes joked about real ghosts during a scene, only for the chandelier above him to rattle violently seconds later. Director Rick Rosenthal later revealed that cameras caught strange orbs floating near the actors, even though the room was sealed. A sound technician fainted after claiming someone whispered, "You shouldn't be here," directly into his ear. No one was standing close enough to have said it. Afterward, many crew members described cold spots that moved, as if unseen figures brushed past them. In A Cinderella Story 2004, the mansion's beauty was showcased again, but the haunting refused to stay hidden. Actress Hilary Duff and her team reported hearing footsteps echoing across the marble floors long after filming had stopped. On one occasion, a mirror shattered during a quiet rehearsal, sending shards flying across the floor. The director, Mark Rossman, said that while watching playback, they caught something chilling, a white mist floating behind Hillary in the ballroom, almost shaped like a person watching her dance. Today, the Canfield Moreno Estate stands as one of the most famous and haunted film locations in Los Angeles. Tour guides say that every film awakens its ghosts, perhaps Daisy herself, still wandering the room she once called home. Visitors claim they can hear her footsteps, the rustle of her gown, and sometimes even the faint scent of her perfume drifting through the corridors at midnight. The mansion, beautiful yet broken, seems to carry her grief forever, whispering through the walls that love, once lost, never truly dies. Number 4. John Marshall High School. In the heart of Los Feliz, Los Angeles, stands John Marshall High School, a grand red brick building that looks like the perfect setting for teenage dreams and nightmares. Built in 1931, its Gothic towers and endless hallways have appeared in countless Hollywood films, from light-hearted dramas to chilling horrors. Yet, behind its historic beauty, the school holds secrets that can't be explained by scripts or camera tricks. When the classroom's empty and the lights go out, something lingers in the silence, something that doesn't want to be forgotten. When A Nightmare on Elm Street 1984 filmed several of its haunting classroom scenes here, the cast began to notice strange occurrences that mirrored the film's nightmare theme. Actress Heather Langenkamp recalled that during a quiet take, she felt a sudden cold breath against her neck and heard a whisper say, "Don't wake up." Crew members laughed it off, but later, while filming in the stairwell, a light fixture fell violently, nearly hitting one of the extras. The director, Wes Craven, was so unsettled by the constant electrical malfunctions that he refused to shoot late at night inside the building again. Locals later claimed that decades earlier, a janitor had mysteriously died in that same stairwell, burned in a boiler explosion eerily similar to Freddy Krueger's fictional fate. Years later, Buffy the Vampire Slayer 1992 brought new life and new fear to John Marshall High's haunted reputation. During production, actress Christy Swanson reportedly felt an invisible hand pull her hair during a hallway scene. Crew members heard lockers slamming shut in sequence, as though unseen students were rushing to class. One night, security footage showed a shadow walking across the gym, long after the crew had packed up. When they checked the door, it was locked from the inside. A sound technician swore he heard giggling echoing through the empty halls, followed by a deep, distorted voice whispering, "We're still here." In Rebel Without a Cause 1955, the school served as a backdrop for youthful rebellion, but it also birthed one of its earliest ghost stories. During filming, actor James Dean often stayed late, pacing the corridors. Crew members later said he would stop suddenly, stare down the hallway, and whisper that someone was watching him. A few nights before his fatal car crash, he reportedly told a friend that he saw a girl in white standing near the lockers who disappeared when he blinked. After Dean's death, students claimed to see a shadowy figure walking the halls during late rehearsals, and the smell of gasoline faintly lingering behind. Today, John Marshall High School is still alive with laughter and learning by day, but when the sun sets, its halls grow heavy with memories. Teachers have reported flickering lights and the sound of distant footsteps echoing long after everyone has gone home. Some say the spirits of former students still wander the classrooms, reliving moments that never ended. Others believe the ghosts belong to those who died tragically nearby, drawn to the energy of the cameras, the stories, and the endless reenactment of fear. Whatever the truth, one thing remains certain: John Marshall High School remembers every scream ever filmed inside it, and every ghost that dared to watch. Number 5. Greystone Mansion. In the rolling hills of Beverly Hills, hidden behind iron gates and lush gardens, stands the magnificent Greystone Mansion, a place where beauty and tragedy walk hand in hand. Built in 1928 by oil tycoon Edward Doheny for his son, Ned Doheny, this grand estate became the scene of a shocking murder-suicide just months after the family moved in. Since that day, Greystone's marble corridors and echoing halls have never known peace. Even Hollywood, with all its lights and glamour, cannot hide the darkness that clings to this mansion. When There Will Be Blood 2007 was filmed inside Greystone, strange occurrences began almost immediately. Crew members reported feeling heavy pressure in the air, as if someone unseen was watching their every move. Actor Daniel Day-Lewis, known for his intense performances, requested that no one speak to him between takes. Yet several extras swore they saw him talking quietly to someone in an empty corner of the ballroom. When asked later, he admitted he felt a presence behind him throughout filming. A man's low voice whispering, "Don't trust the oil." Electrical equipment malfunctioned in the same spot every night, and one camera inexplicably shattered during a close-up of the fireplace, the exact place where Ned Doheny's body was found decades ago. During the filming of The Big Lebowski 1998, the cast experienced something far stranger than any bowling dream sequence. Actress Julianne Moore recalled walking into one of the bedrooms to prepare for her scene, only to feel the temperature drop so fast that she could see her breath. A door behind her slammed shut, though no wind was present, and a mirror on the wall cracked from the center outward. Crew members found their walkie-talkies filled with static, and several reported hearing a man shouting "Leave" in the middle of a take. They thought it was a prank, until the sound was later found recorded on one of the audio tapes, even though the set had been completely silent at the time. Years earlier, during Ghostbusters 1984, the mansion was used for scenes involving mysterious investigations, but the cast got more than they bargained for. Dan Aykroyd, a known believer in the paranormal, later admitted he felt cold energy following him through the halls. Props moved overnight, furniture shifted slightly each morning, and one crew member fainted after claiming to see a man in 1920s clothing standing at the top of the staircase. Security guards who worked overnight said they heard piano music coming from the drawing room, yet when they entered, the piano cover was locked tight. Today, visitors say the same thing. The house feels alive. Heavy footsteps echo across the marble floors when no one's there. Curtains move in sealed rooms. The smell of cigar smoke drifts through the air near the study, where the Dahini tragedy began. People often hear faint weeping from the master bedroom at night, believed to be the spirit of Ned's wife, Lucy, still mourning the night her husband died. Greystone Mansion is more than a film location. It's a monument of sorrow. Every camera that rolls there captures not just the beauty of Hollywood history, but also the restless souls trapped within its walls. The mansion doesn't just host movies. It hosts memories that refuse to die. Number 6, Union Station. In the heart of downtown Los Angeles stands Union Station, a grand structure of marble floors, arched ceilings, and golden chandeliers. But beneath its beauty lies a darkness that refuses to fade. Since opening in 1939, this busy railway hub has witnessed countless arrivals and departures, but some travelers, it seems, never truly left. Beneath its polished charm is a feeling of sorrow, as if the building remembers every lost soul who walked its long corridors, soldiers who never returned, lovers who said goodbye, and victims of tragic accidents on the nearby tracks. The station's ghostly energy became impossible to ignore when Hollywood began using it for films. During the filming of Catch Me If You Can 2002, the cast and crew noticed strange and unexplainable events while shooting the bustling train scenes. Leonardo DiCaprio reportedly complained that he kept seeing a man in an old brown suit reflected in the glass panels, but when he turned around, no one was there. A security guard later confirmed that this same ghostly figure was often seen pacing the main concourse late at night, vanishing near track 7 where a commuter was once struck by a train decades earlier. Crew lights flickered violently every time cameras rolled near the waiting area, and several sound technicians refused to work after hearing distant cries of a woman calling, "Wait for me," echoing through the tunnels. Years earlier, during Blade Runner 1982, the station's Art Deco halls were transformed into a futuristic nightmare, but the nightmares didn't stay on screen. Harrison Ford described hearing what he thought were footsteps following him during a quiet setup between takes. Yet when he stopped, the footsteps did too. At one point, the film's assistant director was found sitting outside, pale and shaking, claiming he saw a woman in a long white gown walking along the platform, her face hidden, her form glowing faintly in the dim blue light. When he blinked, she was gone. Later that night, a janitor found rose petals scattered across the same platform, though no flowers were used in the scene. In The Dark Knight Rises 2012, Union Station once again turned into a cinematic landmark. But according to insiders, filming there was unnerving from the start. Christian Bale and several crew members felt sudden drops in temperature while shooting the underground chase sequence. One cameraman collapsed after feeling a freezing hand grip his shoulder, only to find no one behind him. The sound of heavy breathing was picked up on several recordings even when the set was silent. Some believe the spirit of an old station master still walks those tunnels, checking for late passengers, his lantern swinging in the shadows. Even today, visitors claim to see shadowy figures gliding across the grand lobby just before midnight, as if reenacting the moment their train never came. The benches creak as though unseen passengers still wait for departure. Whispers float through the air, farewells that never ended. Union Station isn't just a symbol of Los Angeles history. It's a living ghost story, a crossroads between the living and the lost, where every film shot within its walls seems to awaken the spirits of journeys that never found their end. Number 7, Hermosa Beach Community Center. By day, the Hermosa Beach Community Center looks like a peaceful seaside landmark. Sunlit hallways, echoes of laughter from sports games, and ocean breeze drifting through open windows. But beneath this calm lies a disturbing history. Once known as Pier Avenue Junior High, the building dates back to the 1930s, and its past is filled with sorrow, stories of students lost in accidents, a teacher who vanished without a trace, and strange sounds that have echoed through its walls ever since. When Hollywood began filming inside, those lost voices stirred again, turning movie sets into scenes of real terror. During the shooting of La La Land 2016, several dance scenes were filmed inside the center's grand auditorium. The crew thought the flickering lights were caused by faulty wiring, until technicians confirmed everything was fine. One night, Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling rehearsed late, and the old piano in the corner started playing a soft tune on its own. The haunting melody matched the one being used in the film. When they checked, the piano lid was locked. Later, a camera captured what looked like a faint reflection of a young boy sitting in the balcony, clapping silently. Locals whispered that a student once fell from that same balcony during a school performance in 1948. The film, The Fog 1980, also used parts of the building for atmospheric shots. According to the director, John Carpenter, the eerie environment didn't need artificial smoke. A thin mist often appeared inside the hallways even when all doors were closed. Crew members heard whispers echoing from empty classrooms, sometimes saying names of people who weren't there. A makeup artist reported feeling a child tug at her skirt. But when she looked down, nothing was there except a chill in the air. One actor swore he saw a shadow moving behind a door that led to the basement, though the basement had been sealed for years after flooding during an old storm. The Hermosa Beach Community Center, with its ocean view and dark past, has become one of Los Angeles' eeriest film locations, a place where youthful dreams, cinematic art, and lingering spirits intertwine. Every movie filmed there seems to awaken something unseen, as if the ghosts of Pier Avenue's past still crave an audience, forever performing in the shadows of Hollywood's spotlight.